Amazingly, Pan, there are still no official reports of any casualties, although some people have been reported missing, including a British woman who ran an animal rescue centre in the capital of Nuku'alofa. She was apparently swept away by Saturday's tsunami while she was trying to save some dogs from drowning. Locals have described Nuku'alofa as looking like a moonscape after it was covered in a thick layer of volcanic ash that has contaminated water supplies and ruined crops. Power is now being restored in the capital, but the biggest problem is the lack of telephone and internet contact, which has been caused by a break in Tonga's undersea communications cable. That could take up to 2 weeks to repair because the specialist equipment needed is based currently in Papua New Guinea. Now, Saturday's incredibly violent 8-minute eruption is believed to be the world's biggest since Mount Pinatubo erupted in the Philippines 30 years ago. And scientists say there's a risk of further eruptions in the weeks or even years to come. People are also being warned that there could be more tsunami if the walls of the undersea volcano start to collapse onto the ocean floor. So lifeguards here on New Zealand's east coast are taking no chances. They're telling people to stay out of the water for the next few days because of the dangers posed by unpredictable currents and surges, Pan.
Owen, back to this aircraft sent by New Zealand. Tell us a little bit more about the model. Is it kind of a special aircraft designed for aerial assessment like this?
Yeah, that's essentially right. We're still waiting to get reports back from 2 Air Force reconnaissance aircraft that have flown to Tonga from New Zealand and Australia, who are combining their efforts on this response. Their main mission is to make an aerial assessment of the damage on the outer islands, which have been cut off by a lack of power and communication. Military aircraft from New Zealand and Australia are also standing by to take humanitarian aid to Tonga, including much needed drinking water and desalination equipment. The latest reports indicate that they'll be able to land at Nuku'alofa Airport, but if not, the supplies can be dropped from the air. There was concern that these flights today would be delayed by the huge 20-kilometre high cloud of volcanic ash that was created by the eruption, but that has now drifted east to Australia, where residents in the state of Queensland reported seeing a red sky this morning. Navy vessels from Australia and New Zealand are also on standby to take supplies to Tonga once authorities have a better idea of what's needed on the ground. Meanwhile, it continues to be an anxious wait for the 80,000 plus Tongans who live here in New Zealand, who are desperate to hear from their families to find out whether they're safe, Pan.
China has extended deep sympathies to Tonga after the massive volcanic eruption and tsunami there. Beijing says it's ready to provide support and assistance to at Tonga's request. And of course, CGTN will keep you updated on this developing story.